So in the beginning of my journey, my routine would be different from the beginning to like 6 months later to a year to 2 years, right? So, but the thing is, I still had routine, no matter what, and I would still do things that involved in that routine. So, if you're, a person that's at home a lot, doing nothing, getting sucked into the what if thoughts, the OCD looping thoughts, you're going to lose every time because the OCD looping thoughts, they have a purpose, is to get your attention to perceive danger, even though they're false alarms, even though you're not surrounded with danger, even though you're not in danger, the brain is still perceiving danger, so it's going to send what if thoughts and alarms, mental alarms, to get your attention. So if you're at home and don't have your schedule filled up, if you're at home and you don't have a routine and a schedule for the week, then you're going to get sucked in. So, and my people at this, in the beginning, I wasn't able to go far, right? So I still had a schedule that I was filling up no matter what, even in the beginning. So in the beginning, I couldn't do a 5K walk. I was doing a 10K walk around, the first year of my journey. But it took me a while to get there. So what I had to do was still do it. So what I did is I made my schedule. I filled it up with, okay, we're going to, I went to the store every day because I was cooking every day for my food. So I was, in the beginning, yes, I had a lot of the sensitivities to food. I had 2 safe foods, but I had to go buy the foods, right? And eventually I was able to eat 5 foods. So every day I went to the grocery store, drove there, went in. It felt like a war zone going through there, but I did it anyway. And I did this every day. So I was in and out of the grocery store probably within, 8.5 minutes the first couple of months, right? So I'd be in there, all these sounds, beeping sounds, all the vegetables and fruits, everything was a trigger. I was like, okay, you're driving, that's a trigger. You get out of your car, your change of environment, you're going into the store, right? This was all, the routine was in a way exposure and change and variety, right? A scheduled routine creates a lot of variety and changes throughout your day. And this is exposure, right? This is how your brain recalibrates and keeps you busy so that your brain doesn't keep you stuck ruminating all day and looping on your alarms. So this is what I had to do. I would go to the grocery store. I would get 3 different vegetables, get some rice. I knew exactly where they were, so I'm like, all right, get that, get this, blah blah blah, get the cart, boom boom boom. My adrenaline's pumping. I'm having an anxiety attack while I'm doing this. I got symptoms. I got alarms going off, mental alarms, physical alarms going off like crazy while I'm going through the grocery store. And then, I go in, I pay, and there was times I also go to different grocery stores for different items. So any excuse for me to get out of the house, if somebody's like, oh, damn, I need a blah, 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 I'll go get it. Are you sure? That's, out of your way? Like if my mom needed anything, my brother, my daughter needed to drive anywhere, my wife needed something, if I needed something, any excuse that I could have to get out of the house and to go get stuff, right? Running errands was my everything, right? Eventually, I worked for Uber as a Uber Eats delivery guy near the tail end of my recovery, and I loved it. But in the beginning, let me go buy stuff and look for stuff, and because it filled up my schedule. So in the beginning with walking, it was okay. I can only walk from here to around the boulevard, right? So that's like 30 seconds of walking. Okay, so I put that in there in my routine. I did it. I did my visuals. I did I watched my daily dare. So it's all these little things, right, through your day. They're little quick. This is the beginning of your journey. Little quick things that you're adding up into your schedule, and all of a sudden you have this routine that's like, you got 20 things. It's like, right? And you're like, oh fuck. And I used to put them on my schedule throughout the whole week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's all filled up, right, in my calendar, right? All filled up. And then I would get my post-it note, right, for the day. I'd be like, and tomorrow, right? So I'd be like, all right, I know what we're doing today, and then we're gonna, this is for tomorrow, right? And it was filled up. And they were all little small things that were filled up. Small things. But my day was filled up. I was busy. I was running errands. So I'd be going to one grocery store to get the meat. And there was times where I'd be in the grocery store, I thought I was going to collapse and die. Yeah. This was just a normal rotating menu of my life. Right? And you felt like you were going to die. You're like, oh, fuck, I think I'm having a heart attack. Oh, I feel like I'm dying. Oh, I think I'm dying. Right? You're in the middle of, you're like, all of a sudden you're beeping through the stuff and you're like, oh shit, something's happening. I don't know what it is. And these body sensations, they felt like you're either going to have trigger alert. You're going to have, I thought I was having a stroke, a heart attack. I was going to stop breathing. I was having some sort of aneurysm, or something was shutting down, or I was going to collapse because something was shutting down. That was the feeling I had, right? So, and I had my routine down, right? Scheduled out, fucking busy with small little things. So, you're walking for 30 seconds. Okay, that's done. I did my daily dare. I made my bed. I took a shower, right? So that's already 5 things right there. Okay, now we're going to go and run some errands. So, okay, I got to get gas. So you go get gas, and you're doing things. You're constantly doing things. You go to the grocery store. I'm in and out of the grocery store within 5 to 7 minutes, right? Because it's a shit show. You got it all planned out. I know you're supposed to allow, but in the beginning, you're going to slip and you're going to go into your survival mode, right? But with repetition, eventually you're going to ease off. So yes, I was still running survival mode, but I was running it in a routine. So it was like a survival mode routine, right? So drive here, get the meat, go to the store, get the cart, go to the meat sections out in the back. All right, let's fucking, I can see already ahead. There's a path through. This old lady's in the fucking way. Okay, I'll go around here. I'll come right back. There's the meat. Yep, good enough. Throw it in there. Blah, blah, blah. How much is it? I don't give a fuck. Let's get out. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, they're all fucking backed up. Okay, you know what? I'll scan it myself. Fuck this shit. And I'm like, okay, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get the fuck out of here. So maybe you know what? There's many times. This happened probably 4 times a week while I was shopping. While I'm scanning something or about to scan something, I'm thinking, okay, I'm about to scan my stuff. This is the point of no return. Do I continue? Or do I put my card away and go run in my car into my safe spot? Because the hospital is only, technically, if I had to go to the hospital is only like 5-minute walk. So I was already planning ahead with everything. So I'm like, okay, I can scan this stuff and go to the car and rethink if I need to go to the hospital. Or I can just, I've been here before. I've experienced this before. And it always passes. And everything always ends up being okay after. So maybe this is my time to make the call because you're putting yourself in situations where you got to make the call and you got to face the obstacle, right? And I did that on purpose, right? Because routine. Eventually, you're going to work through it, and you're going to overcome, and you're going to get outside of your circle more and more and more, and that's where you recalibrate and recover, right? Shit like that. But you will go through obstacles, and you're going to go through hell. You're going to go through the hell of situations where your brain is going to put you at the crossroads where you got to make a decision, where you're at the point of no return. And if you're constantly in a routine every day, you will face these situations. And they're going to happen. You're going to be thinking to yourself, okay, I got to go scan this stuff in because there's too much of a lineup in the other tills. I don't want to sit there in a lineup, being in the line with somebody behind me and being with stuff full of cart and being stuff in my cart and being stuck there and me freaking out. I don't want to tell people I'm freaking out because then people will be like, "Are you okay, sir? Hello, sir. Are you okay? Do you want me to call somebody? Are you okay?" Like, I didn't want to open up a can of worms, right? I didn't want to turn anything to an event, because if you do that, it makes things 1,000 times worse, and you'll be on the ground going, somebody help, I didn't want to have that to happen, because I've had those moments. I've had those. Oh, well, side story. There was times where I remember I was at home, and all of a sudden I felt like I was going to collapse. It felt like my upper half of the body just felt heavy, and my face was hot, and I was like, I think I'm going to pass out. I think I'm going to die. What should I do? Should I just lay here and die? Or should I, maybe this is a sign that I have to push. Maybe I'll be one of those stories where, I pushed and I made it because I went to the hospital, and all of a sudden my face goes numb. My hands get tingly. And I'm like, something's happening. Something's happening. Boom, 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 boom. So something started, a wave went over me, right? I think, holy fuck, okay, this is serious. This is serious. And it was always, this is serious, right? So, got my keys. I'm like, okay, I gotta go. Right? I didn't even have the energy to fucking go into the room and go, this is happening. I'm gonna go to the hospital. Like many times, I've done that too. But this is, one of those bigger events. Many of them that I had. It was one of those. This is a little bit more serious. So I was like, okay, I gotta go. Right? Close the door. Fucking slam the door. And my wife's probably like, where did he go? Right? Because I figured I'll just message her later. I'm out the fucking door, get in my car, fucking. Then you're driving. You're like, why is there so many fucking streets? Oh my god! I gotta get to the hospital. I gotta get to the hospital. I ran all the red lights, and of course, every one of these lights are fucking red, right? It's like, and finally you get a green light, and I was going probably 100 kilometers at this point, in like a 60 zone, right? I was like, oh, I gotta make it to the hospital. I gotta make it. Oh my god, my hand is fucking numb. Oh, I can't feel it. Now it's tingling. Now my face is tingling. What's good? Right? And I had the windows down, and I got this was in the winter also, so I got cold air blowing on my face. I'm looking in the rear view mirror in my eyes. I'm like, okay, good. They're not yellow. Okay, good. Oh my god, I can't feel my lips. Oh my god, what the fuck is going on? Right? And then I'd be at a stoplight, and I'd be like, fuck it, I gotta go. But I'd always, get close to an intersection. If I see a car coming, I'd wait. I'd be like, and I'm sure the people are probably like, hand over hand, so I'm probably gonna hit up the grocery store. What the fuck? Why is that guy? What's going on with him? Meanwhile, they look at my car, this guy going, right? So they go, and I'm like, right? I get to the hospital. The way I do it, I go to the emergency parking lot, right? And I fucking slam on the brakes. I throw it in the fucking park. The car's still running. I'm like fucking, the door's open. I run to the emergency room, and I'm searching for my fucking health card, and I just leave it to there, and I'm like, oh, I think I'm gonna die. I think it's happening. I need somebody help me. Right? I had that moment. And then the nurse is like, sir, what are you doing? You have to sit there. No, we'll get to you in a moment. I'm like, and they were just like, sir. And then the security guard comes in. He's like, he's got to move his car. He can't just leave. What is he doing? What are you? And now that I think about it, and at that time, I was still able to have a second thought while I was having this emergency thought. I don't know how, but I had another brain thought that was going, do you guys not understand this is an emergency? Do you guys not understand we're in an emergency department area? This is the emergency part of the hospital. So people come here, I'm sure they're dealing with an emergency, and you're more concerned about that my car's not parked properly and that it's running. Do you think maybe there's something going on with me? Do you think maybe you want to save my life first, and then we'll worry about why my car is parked or in the way of possibly somebody else needing a parking spot? Like, I didn't understand. I'm like, dude, what the fuck is your problem? I'm gonna die, and you're worried about a parking spot. Are you stupid? To the security guard, I was thinking this in my head, and I was looking at her, to the nurse, going, dude, I'm dying. What the fuck? Help me out here. What the fuck? You're telling me to wait? Number one, you're telling me to sit down and wait my turn. Number two, you're telling me that the security guards is saying, well, you gotta move your car. dude, if you're having a heart attack and if you're gonna die in 3, 2, 1, do you think my priority right now, and your priority should be for me to get into my car, find a car parking spot, find some money. Well, I gotta find a quarter here and a loonie to put into the parking machine. I gotta pay for my parking, and then I gotta get the ticket. Then I'm gonna put the ticket on the dash, and then I gotta make sure I got the keys and make sure everything's locked. All right, and then I'll head my way to the emergency room. Oh yeah, I need my health card. I make sure I got my bag with some water in it. See, I was usually always prepared. I always had a bag with my phone plug, right? And to make sure, because it was, I was always on my phone and to kill some time, and I'd have like a couple apples, so it always has. But this time, it was one of the big ones, so I had fucking nothing. So yeah, to think that I was gonna, plan this all out and then, hi, how's it going? Yeah, I'm just checking in here. Here you go. Yeah, want me to go sit down? Okay. See you later. Okay, thanks a lot, man. You're doing a good job today. Thank you. Right? Sit down, and you take a number. Oh, okay, I can wait. Yeah, I'll just watch the news. Yeah. Okay, weather. It's gonna snow tomorrow. Well, I figured. Well, it's snowing today, so. Oh, gas prices are going up again. Oh, it's gonna snow all week? Fuck. Can't we get a break? Can it be sunny on the weekend? Like, can we not get a fucking break with this fucking weather that we're having? Crazy weather, right? Like, they think I'm just, it's like I'm going to the grocery store to get something. No, this is the emergency room. People are dying. I felt like I was dying, right? In my mind, my reality, I was dying. And they're asking me to sit down and wait my turn. So then, it was my turn. Finally, it was my turn. Okay, so, no, but first I had to take my car and park it. And the guy's like, yeah, just park it in there. We'll worry, just get here. I'm like, here, take my keys. Like, no, I don't want your key. He's like, you take your key. I'm like, fuck. So I take my key. My face is going more numb. I can barely breathe. I can't. I'm like, okay, this is happening. This is it. And then I go to the nurse. I'm like, I can't feel my hands. I can't. And I was slurring. I can barely talk. I was like, and the nurse is like, oh, giving me the look like, who, this fucking guy. And then they get my name. And of course, the computer screen has a history of me being there 3 times a week for the past fucking year. And they're like scrolling through all the fucking, and they're like, the glasses, right? She's like, okay, so what are you in for? You gotta know that they're fucking tired of me when they're like, what can we help you with? Okay, let me get your name. And they're really slow too. Like, let me get your name. Do you have your health card? All right. So why don't you step on that scale? I was already on the scale, right? I was like, let's get this fucking moving. I'm like, all right. So you want to check my blood pressure? All right. Can we check my oxygen? Because I can't breathe. So they check my. They're like, I'm looking. I'm like, okay, my blood pressure seems to be somewhat normal. I'm like, what about my oxygen? They're like, it's normal. Your oxygen is actually pretty good. That's the best I've seen all day. Of course, it's the best. Fucking best, right? So, and then they write all this stuff down. They're like, well, we'll get your heart checked. We'll get you processed in. And so, no, but that one time, I remember when my face was going numb, I was freaking out. I was like, I can't feel my hands. She's like, because you gotta calm down. Calm down. Look, that's no wonder why you can't feel your hands are getting tingly. Your hands are tingly because you're having a panic attack. That's why. I'm like, no, I've had 1,000 panic attacks. This is not the same. I feel like I'm dying. Oh my God. She's like, calm down. I will not help you unless you calm down, sir. Sir, just have a seat there. Put your head down. I had to put my head down. Like this, just to get oxygen going and get blood flow in the back of my head, because I felt like I was going to pass out. And my heart rate was right. And then she's like, okay, how you doing? I'm like, I'm living the life of hell. I'm like, I'm not doing this on purpose. Like, this is not anxiety. Like, then I'd start crying. Oh man, fuck. When I do a life review and I go back in time, I'm gonna be embarrassed of myself. I'm gonna be like, okay, God, guides, source. I don't want to see my life review. This is fucking embarrassing. No, Helmut, you have to see what you're going through. Fuck. I'd be like, dude, don't be such a bitch. Why are you crying like a girl? Fuck. And then the life review, you can go into what the other person's thinking. So, going, what a bitch. Oh my God. This guy is a mess. I got to get him out of my office. He's trying to piss me off. He's triggering. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll put you in that waiting room over there. And then we'll call you when we're ready to take you, okay? All right. Hope you feel better. Okay. Can't wait to go on my lunch. Right? So then, I finally, my feeling comes back to my hands. Right? My face is finally, I can feel my face. And I'm like, what the fuck was that? I think I'm going to die. I think it's going to be today. I'm just having one of those, when things regulate a bit and then I'm going to die now. Right? So I'm messaging my family. My mom's like, you're going to be okay, Helmut. Yeah, I know. It is exciting. You have to believe me. It is anxiety. It's anxiety you have in your head. I have it too. I'm like, you have not had this. This is different. You don't fucking get it. Helmut, you had a surgery. You have a lot of stress, Helmut. This is exactly how I fucking told you. You have anxiety. I told you don't want to believe me. I'm like, no. Then my mom was like, okay, fine. Go get checked again. It's like, you're about to die. You're thinking in your head you're about to die, and your mom's mocking you and getting mad at you when you're in the moment of, about to leave your body and join heaven. Right? And your mom's going, again. Right? Fuck. So, oh man, it's all coming back to me. The frustration. So I'm like messaging my daughter, I always loved you. I will always be there if something happens. They didn't want to say I'm fucking dying, right? No. So I say, if anything happens, I'm at the hospital right now. They're going to get me checked. I'm going through one of those things right now again. And then my daughter would be always like, okay, you'll be fine. I know you're going to get better eventually. This is going to be fine. My mom's like, you're having it? And I, be reporting to my wife, yep, I'll let you know how everything, you'll be okay. Just let me know. Blah, blah, blah. All right, I love you. Okay. Blah, blah, love you too. And then my mom's like, okay, when you're done, you let me know, okay? You're going to be fine. There's nothing wrong with you, Helmut. There's nothing wrong with you. All right, fuck. So they process me, I go through, all the little tests here and there. They're like, hey, Helmut. Hi. Like, everybody's like, Helmut. I'd see a nurse be like, oh, you haven't left? You're still here? No, I went home. I'm just back. Oh, okay. I'm going home now. Okay, have a nice day. And this was, another day at the hospital. So I got a little sidetracked with my original story. So, so you're going, so you have these things happen, right? These events where you're going to the hospital because it could be any time. It's like, you're going to die every day, but you're not sure when it's going to be the real one. It could be next month, it could be in 6 months from now, or it could be tomorrow it's going to be the real day that you die. It's always been a build-up. It's always been a shit show of, is it going to be today? I think this is the one. So, this is what I had to do. I had to accept that, okay, if I die, I die. That's fine. I'm okay with that. And I'm going to start challenging it. I decided, you know what? I'm not going to the hospital again. Fuck this. If I die, I die. I slipped up like maybe 5 more times after that. But it was better than 3 times a week. So anyway, this is when I had to start, challenging my alarms that were happening. When I was going to the grocery store or when I was going to do one of the things on my list. See, this is why it was so important to me to have a routine, a busy routine. And, all the tasks that I did were very small, quick tasks, right? But they were throughout the whole day. So when I came across with these alarms and these big alarms where I thought I was going to die, I had to deal with them every day. And eventually I had to call them on their bullshit, right? So, and this is the thing, you're more likely to call them on the bullshit and to work through these obstacles if you have a busy routine and if you get out there and deal with them head first. Then if you're at home ruminating, dealing with them, but not really moving forward, right? This way, I was out in the world dealing with them and moving forward slowly. So, I'm about to scan my meat, and it'd be the point of no return. And I thought, okay, here it comes again. I had the same thing last week, and I was fine, even though it felt real, even though it felt like I was gonna die. So, you know what? We're gonna say, fuck it, we're doing it, man. We're doing it live. Let's do it. Fuck it, we're doing it live, right? So I was like, this is the moment where you pounce. This is the opportunity where you go against the grain. So what you would normally do is freak out, run to the car, go to the hospital, or race home and ruminate, and then eventually things pass, and then you start again the next day. That's what I usually did. So we're going to do something different today. We're out and about. I'm about to scan some stuff. I feel like I'm going to die, right? This is my time to pounce and use this as a golden opportunity to challenge it and to go through it. Just to fucking go through it. So I'm like, fuck it. We're going to scan these items and I'm going to fucking pay. And if I die here, in the middle of the lane here, with everybody around me, all these customers and all these workers, let's do it. Let's make it happen. That'll be a fucking story for the newspaper, right? Let's do it. So I'm scanning away. I pay my thing, right? I feel like shit. My hand's starting to go numb, right? I get the tingling feeling on this hand. I'm going numb here. I feel like I'm going to faint. Take my bag, walk to my car, right? Go into my car, and then I'm like, all right, let's go home, right? What's the next thing on my list? I got to go to this. And I'm sticking to my routine. And you know what? I'm fine again. Not fine, but I'm not dying fine, right? So, okay, we go to another store, we get some vegetables, same thing. Everything seems like it's a war zone. Okay, let's do it. 8 minutes it should take 8 minutes for me to do all this. All right, done. And then you go home, you unpack, you start to cook, blah, blah, blah. So you always have a routine, and all the things that you're doing are small, right? Small. Because your schedule has to be full. So you're doing all these little things. Grocery store, actually, let's recap. You get up, do the bed, do a daily dare, take a shower, right? You leave the house, you do your visuals. You go to the grocery store, you get one item. You go to another grocery store, get another item. You got to get gas, right? So this already, all this shit already should be already almost at 11 a.m., right? Oh yeah, I got to take and in between there, I forgot, I took the dog for a pee. So I walked for like around the boulevard. So put that in the schedule. So it's like 11:30 now, right? And I'm like, okay, the dog needs to pee again. Let's go on the boulevard, walk around the boulevard again. Now it's 12:15. Okay, now we got to cook. Now we got to, right? So you're doing all these little mini tasks. Oh, I got to go out again and grab this one thing because somebody needs it. It's not for me, but I'm just helping them out. So I loved running errands. I drove it. I didn't love it, but it gave me something to do. It gave me an excuse to go do something. Like, no, what are you doing? If my wife, my dad, my brother, and my daughter, anybody, if they wanted to go get something, I'd be like, no. Take your shoes off, sit down. I'll get it. Don't worry about it. I'll get it. You sure? Yeah. And then eventually they knew that I loved getting stuff. So they're like, I was thinking about getting some cake. I'm kind of in the mood for it. I'll go get it. What do you want? I'll make it into a big project. So I go to the store, like, to send pictures to my wife of all the cakes that she likes. I'm like, which one do you want? Right? Meanwhile, I'm going through, this is an exposure, right? And my brain's going, Mayday, everything's a war zone, but I'm engaging on all these different cakes. Oh, the carrot cake? Okay, let's get that one. Or you want to have velvet cheesecake? All right, let's get that one. All right, bye. So I'm like spending money. I'm out of the house for almost an hour just to get a piece of cake because my wife had a craving. But that's another hour out of my day that I'm engaging in doing something, right? Any excuse that you can get out of the house to do something and engage, do it. And you're going to find out, you're going to see that your schedule is like, of all these little mini tasks that you're doing. And that was the beginning of my journey. The first year to a year and a half, that's all I was doing. I was running errands. I was, eventually you're able to walk further than around the boulevard. So this is like, the beginning of my journey to like the first year, right? The first, I would say after the first 4 months to a year, because the first 4 months I was at home, bedridden, didn't have any answers. There was no journey really. Okay, so now we're, within a year. So within the first year, okay, so I started learning to allow all the alarms. So I was learning to allow, and I started to, I went from walking down the boulevard to walking around the block, right? And this is changing. My routine starts changing because all of a sudden I can walk longer. So my routine had a bigger gap with me walking longer. And eventually, fast forward to a year and a couple months, that gap took 3 hours. I was gone walking every day for 3 hours on a trail, and I was doing 10 kilometers a day. This was in the summer, throughout the winter. If it was a winter storm, I didn't care. I had I had my scarf and a face mask. I looked like I was, a burglar, right? These massive mittens. I was warm. If I needed to be going somewhere in the middle of a winter storm, even when it was ice rain, I was out, right? So my routine would change a bit, and I was walking 10 kilometers, right? And I'd come back from a walk, and I could barely move my hands because they're so cold and frozen. Because when you're in Canada, in the middle of January, February, it can go minus 14 Celsius. And I didn't care. Sometimes I'd have rashes on my face from all the cold exposure, right? It almost burned my skin, but I didn't care because I was sticking to a routine. I was so disciplined to my routine that nothing was going to stop me. And the thing is, it was almost an alarm that would drive me crazy if I didn't stick to it. It became an obsession. I was hard on myself, but it became an obsession to stick to my routine. Right? And some people might think, well, that's not a good thing. It was the best thing. It was what got me pushing through my recovery. And, eventually I eased off and I recalibrated that part. But having that driving force obsession with sticking to a routine is what I needed, right? Following steps to the T, never swaying off, right? And pushing out and changing my routine and changing my schedule as I grew, right? As I gained leverage. So, it went from walking was like, 10 minutes a day in my schedule till eventually it took this chunk of my schedule every day. And then all of a sudden I found like, oh fuck, I gotta find more time to do all this stuff. I gotta wake up earlier. Okay, let's wake up earlier. Oh, this is great. I have a busy I loved it having a busy day, because having big gaps in your day, I hated that. To me, that was depressing. To me, that was like, oh, this is just opportunities that my brain's going to send me alarms and I'm going to get sucked in and baited in, right? When I had a full busy week, like constantly go, I felt good about myself. It made me motivated that I was moving towards recovery. And I was, because I was getting out there and recalibrating in different environments with a lot of different varieties, and it sucked. Everywhere I went, it was a fucking shit show, a hell show. But it was variety. It was variety of a shit show, right? Like, right? Everything was variety. So, and that's the best way to do it. You're constantly busy, and your schedule starts to morph and change, right? Things have bigger spots, other things have smaller, some things get taken out, some new things come in, right? And then I became an Uber Eats delivery driver. I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. Shouldn't do it. Let's do it. And that's fucking, if I have any doubt about it because of my symptoms or alarms or whatever, we're doing it. So I did it. And when you got to get out there and you have you have all the bells and whistles of the Uber Eats going, ding, 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 you're like, it's triggering. So you're hitting that. You go, oh, poof, and everything's got a time limit. You're like, fuck, I got to deliver this and bring it there. There's the roads are full of snow, right? And you gotta deliver the foods on time and the right address. So you gotta put, and you're engaging, right? You gotta put the GPS map on, make sure you're getting the right home, right? You're forced to engage with getting the right address. You know, you gotta go to first you gotta get the food. You get the food, you wait in line, you're like, this is what I need to pick up. Okay, wait 5 minutes. So you gotta be patient. You gotta wait. They give you the food, you go, thank you. You're off to the car. It's snowing, you got snowflakes and wind in your face. You get into your cozy car, you got music running, because I'm always at that point I was elevating all day. I was getting back to the swing of life, right? It was every time I built leverage and I expanded for my circle, it was hard. But eventually things I didn't notice anymore, because, you know, at that time, after, you know, I was doing the deliveries, going to the store, I didn't even think about it. It was just like my routine. I was like, oh yeah, we gotta go to the store, we gotta grab some meat. Right, and the further you get into your routine, in your journey, you start lingering around the store. And throughout your recovery journey, with all of these, you know, scheduled routines that you have in your calendar every day and your post-it notes, you'll start to get out of your circle and not notice the old alarms that you used to have, because they're off now, right? So, you know, if I'm running errands and buying a meat here at this grocery store and vegetables at this other grocery store, I would linger around the grocery store longer, right? I push myself instead of going, okay, here, and we're the fuck out of there. It was more like here, and then maybe we'll look for something else that we can add. Let's explore a little bit, right? It was also another form of exposure, right? I'd linger, take my time, right? If I thought, okay, I'm going too quick, you know what? Let's do another round. Let's take another look. Maybe we'll look at the ingredients. Maybe we'll go think about a different recipe. Oh, they're out of this. Well, what can we replace that with? So I would make my routine, I would change it a bit by stretching it out. So you notice that you start to engage more, you push out of your comfort zone, you get uncomfortable, you stick to the routine, right? But in the beginning, you know, your routine's tasks that you had are very tiny, right? But the point was that you were just doing them, right? With walking, to create a habit, the best thing you can do is go, okay, let's just walk around the block. So you walk around the block, but you do it every day. No matter what, you do it every day, and you create that neural pathway, and you build a habit, right? We're not doing it to exercise. We're not doing it, you know, somebody can go, well, fuck that, man. I can do 5 kilometers. Like, no, I don't want you to do 5 kilometers. No, but I can. I don't care if you can. That's not the point. We're not here to exercise. We're here to create a habit, right? So walk around the block, and don't walk more than once around the block. Stop yourself if you want to go, no, I can do more. I can do 10 times. No, only once. We're just doing small things, small steps, and we're sticking to them. Because if you do small steps, you're more willing to stick to them and repeat them every day, right? So baby steps every day, but repeat them every day. You make sure you go to the grocery store every day. You make sure you're going for a walk every day, even if it's a couple of steps here and there, right? This is how you create a pathway, because little steps every day, the trajectory over a long period of time, right, is huge, right? See that huge gap, right? Little steps in the beginning, and over time, right? After a year, the gap of things that you're able to do, the leverage that you gained is massive, right? And you created habits. You created neural pathways. So in the beginning, yeah, sure, you went around the block once only. Even though you could have, you know, some people would have, hey, I could have done that 10 times. What the hell? But those people that, you know, go for a walk for an hour the first time, watch. In a month from then, all of a sudden they're not walking anymore. You're like, well, what happened to your walks? Oh yeah, I'm gonna start next week. Yeah, I'm gonna start again next week. Yeah, I've been busy. I don't know. They didn't create a habit. They become lazy and they don't stick to it. Right? Creating little tasks, but doing them every day and sticking to them creates a habit, creates a neural pathway, and it guarantees that you're going to keep doing it, right? That's the point. As long as you do it every day, in the beginning, as long as you do it, it can be small, that's fine, as long as you do it. So, and then that's what you notice when people they overkill something to create a habit, they end up not doing it. They don't create the habit. So the best way to create a habit is to go really small, but do it every day. And you're more likely to do it if you go, oh, I just got to go around the block. I got no time today. Oh, you just got to go around the block. Oh, that's fine. Fine. Right? So there's no room for excuses. Right? There's no room for, well, today I can't because you're just going to the grocery store to grab one little thing. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Yeah, but I guess no excuses. I got to do it. Right? So that's the beauty of having routines that are tiny, because they force you to stick to them with no excuses. And you create habits, you build neural pathways, and you build off these neural pathways, and you expand, right? And you start to build on them. So eventually, you go from walking around the block to 10 kilometers, right? And you don't have time to worry about the symptoms and the anticipation anxiety and the avoidance behavior and I'm going to crash, or I don't have enough energy, or because you're just too busy engaging in the routine. And eventually you're going to forget about all the what if thoughts, the avoidance behaviors, and the alarms are telling you, don't do this, no, conserve, no, you're going to be having a crash. And even if you do have a crash, because you will, that's guaranteed, we want you to have a crash with all kinds of ways, with the alarms happening. You're going to have triggers. You're going to have all kinds of triggers. You're going to have crashes, what if thoughts. You're going to feel like you're in a war zone. You're going to feel like shit. You're going to feel like you're going to pass out and die 1,000 times. You need to go through all these alarms. These are all different forms of alarms, right? You need to feel these alarms constantly throughout the day, every day, for 1.5 years, 2 years, over and over again, so you become indifferent to them until they get erased, right? You eventually dissolve them. They're gone. And that's how you get from there to here, right? Routine. Start small until you become indifferent to them, until you're not analyzing all the things that you're doing. You're just doing them, right? And then you just kind of melt into the day, right? And all these little alarms and fears and what if thoughts, they're not irrelevant because you're too busy engaging because you got shit to do. Sorry, I don't got time for that. I got shit to do. Yeah, I feel like shit, but I got shit to do, right? And you're going to be dealing with the ongoing symptoms moving around while you're engaging in life, right? So this is a good tool to engage in a way that's got lots of variety, and it creates neural pathways, creates habits, and you start small.